Hello, Sarah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So now we started the recruitment for January 2021 and also for September 2021.
Yep.
So which programs are available for January intake?
Sure. So we have a small number of undergraduate bachelor's degrees available for January. These include business management BA, business management with the entrepreneurship pathway, and also marketing management BA honours. These are all 3-year degrees as the standard. These are compressed versions. So while students would be starting in January, they would be finishing the year one of the course in the summer, so around maybe June, July. They'll have a shorter summer break, and then they'll come back and start year two, along with those that started their degree in September. So it is a 3-year
Great.
degree, but it's compressed. So that's for all the bachelor degrees. Those are all at our Marylebone, taught at our Marylebone campus in central London. And then for master construction, project management, architecture MA, specialized, let's have a look at that. Real estate developments. There's a lot more in
Yeah,
postgraduate.
I can share a list of the available programs for January, but can you just tell us how long is a master program in the UK?
So they're all 1 year full time. So again, obviously starting in January, you'll be finishing just before January 2022. These are full time courses. So students will be studying 3 days a week from Monday to Friday. So as I said, 3 to 4 days a week. So students do have a good amount of time to work part time alongside their studies.
How many hours are they allowed to work?
It's 20 hours per week during term time, during semester. And then outside of teaching time, so normally in the summer holidays, there's no limit there, but normally it's 20 hours per week for international students.
Okay. And can you tell us do students still have time to apply for January intake?
Yeah, so there is still time. What I will say is that if there's anyone out there today very interested, do bear in mind that the deadlines are coming up quite quickly. So to start with, to apply, whether it's a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, you need to have made your application before the 30th of November. That's the cut-off point for January. And then after that, we've got some further conditions like for some further deadlines like meeting your conditions on the 4th of December, paying your international deposit on the 4th of December as well, and then some further ones the week after.
So I'm sure you're aware that many students were not able to take the IELTS UKVI
Yeah.
since March 2020. So they just started last week.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if we have students now interested to study in the UK, they need to book for November or December
Uh,
exams. Is
yes.
there any
Yes.
alternative for
There
students
is an.
to study in the UK without taking the IELTS?
Yeah. Well, we have an internal English test, which it's called a Kite English test, which is an online test, and that is available for free for any students who have an offer. So if anyone makes an application and receives an offer of study, just speak with Sarah, and she'll speak with me, and we'll liaise to organise the free English test for you at Westminster. There are a number of other online tests, such as TOEFL IBT and Pearson's and things, but I would look into the free English test if you can, if you make an application.
And this test is valid only for University of Westminster, not to any other university.
That's right. Yeah, that's the difference. Obviously, you're doing an arts, you can use it basically everywhere, but this is one that would just work for your application with us at Westminster.
Okay, and if a student applies for January intake and then decides to defer to September intake, will this test still be valid?
Yeah, that will still be valid. I'm pretty certain everything that happens if you apply for January, have an offer, and you defer, everything will still be the same if you move it over to September. So your conditions, the grades that you'll be required to get, and same with the English language test, that will still be valid for September if you wish to defer it.
Okay. And for January intake, will courses be online, or will students be able to go to the university and have face-to-face courses?
So the latest that we've heard from the university's management above is that the plan is to have on-campus teaching from the third week of teaching from January. So that means I think it's the week of the 1st of February. Students should be coming onto campus for their studies. The first 2 weeks, I think they're planning to remain online. So yeah, first, well, maybe 20th and 29th or something like that of January.
Mm-hmm.
But from the third week, everyone should be coming into university. At the moment, students, in terms of coming onto campus, students can slot like can book, study slots in the university's libraries if they want to get a feel of the campus. But actual on-campus teaching, yeah, from the third week of teaching is the plan. Hopefully that we can continue with that plan.
Okay. And are there any scholarships for January intake?
Yes, so we do have for any students applying for a master's course, we do have a number of part fee scholarships. These are for £3,000 off their tuition fees. What I'll say about that as well is that the deadline to apply for those January part fee scholarships is the 9th of November. So again, obviously these deadlines are coming quite quickly.
Yeah. And are there any conditions?
The
Or
main
is it an automatic scholarship?
it's not an automatic scholarship, I'm afraid. How it works is every student with an equivalent to a UK 2-1 or upper second class honours degree. So for Moroccan students, that might be if they've got the 4-year bachelor's, 14 out of 20 or 3.0 out of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Students with that grade would be considered for the part fee scholarship. And we get applications from all around the world, and the strongest applicants, wherever they're from, will be awarded those.
Okay. Just to come back to the entry requirements, because for September 2020, the entry requirements were different than the normal ones that the university were asking for, especially for postgraduate programs. So you were accepting 6.0 overall for IELTS. Are they still the same entry requirements for January intake and for September 2021?
Yeah, good question, Sarah. So for January 2021, the requirements are the same as they were for September. So yeah, 6 out of 6.0 for the IELTS or equivalent test, and entry requirements equivalent to a 2.2 for January. Going into September 2021, the entry requirements will sort of revert back to pre-COVID levels. So
okay.
it'll go to like 6.5, and the academic grades will need to be slightly higher again. But January, everything will stay the same as it was for September. September 2021.
Okay, so when do students interested to join September 2021 intake should start applying?
Well, they can start applying now, so it is open. What I will say is anyone who's applying for especially a postgraduate degree in September 2021, if I could just ask you to have a bit of patience with our admissions team, because they're dealing priority first with the many January courses.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if your make an application, you don't get a response within a couple of weeks, just let Sarah know, and she'll liaise with me, and I'll check that. But normally it's open to application, but it may take us a little bit longer, maybe the next month, to get a response for that. And for undergraduate, it's open for application. The first UCAS deadline is in January 2021, and then there's a further one end of June. So they're all open to apply for, whether January or September.
Okay, so how does it work, like especially for undergraduate students to apply for a program in September? Do they have to create an account on UCAS and do the
Yeah,
application?
that's right. Yeah, so everyone, and this is the same for undergraduate and postgraduate. Everyone needs to create an account on UCAS or UCAS postgraduate, and they need to make their application online via those platforms. So yeah, it's just about setting up the account.
So what are the information or documents they need to have before applying?
Well, they can apply without having like confirmation of their grades or all their final documents. The main thing is that they state on their application the qualification that they're studying at the moment, and then we can look to make a conditional offer based on grades that they'll receive in the future, provided that they do get those grades before they start their course. Eventually, students will need to provide evidence of their final grades, academic grades, like the Moroccan Baccalaureate or an IELTS test. They'll also need like an academic reference. And I think, yeah, those are the main documents that they'll need as part of the application.
So academic reference from the actual from one of the actual teachers or previous years.
It can be from, I think it can be from previous years, provided it's not, years ago. If it's relatively recent and it clearly states how they know the student, where they taught them, then in theory we should be able to use that. If students have professional references as well, probably more likely for the master's students, they can
Postgrad,
use it as
yeah.
well, and that will help their application definitely.
And the personal statement?
Yeah. So
which information do they need to include on their personal statement?
Personal statement. This is mainly about the course leader and admissions team seeing how interested the student is in the specific course they've applied for. So we want to see evidence of their knowledge in the field, and also talking about their future career plans potentially, or if they want to then go on and study a master's, do a PhD. We want to see what your real interest and your plan for the future is. That's what the personal statement is. So yeah, be disciplined in talking about your course, and don't talk too much about external sort of hobbies and things that you have. Focus on the course and subject area, things like that.
Okay. So do they need to provide any predicted grades while filling the form on UCAS?
Yeah, I mean, if they have confirmation of their predicted grades and previous year grades, then include that in. That will help the admissions team form their part of their assessment. So if they have that, yeah, please include that. If they don't,
but it's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory, no. And normally what happens is, if they, like I said, if they make their application and they make a reference to what they're studying, the admissions team will just request a condition that they show us their grades in the future, in the next coming months.
Yeah, sure. So what are the minimum grade that a Moroccan baccalaureate student should have to go to year one at the university to start a 3 years program?
They would need an average grade of 15 in the Moroccan Baccalaureate.
15.
Yeah.
And French bac?
French bac, I believe that would be 12. Let me just confirm that. Also for students, I'll just confirm.
It's normally 12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is 12. 11 we can consider.
Oh, okay.
For January 11, might go up to 12 for September, but I think 11 theory should be fine. And then also, if students achieve 14 out of 20 in the English language section, we can use that as proof of academic English for students doing the French bac.
Okay, perfect. And some students are asking if you guys can accept students holding a bachelor degree from Morocco. Can they do a master degree directly without having to do the pre-master?
Yeah. So if they have a 4-year bachelor degree from Morocco, absolutely.
It's mainly 3 years.
3 years, okay. Yeah, I mean, a grade of normally of 13 as a minimum out of 20. Or yeah, we take students directly from the Moroccan bachelor's degree into our master's degree.
Okay, and what if a student doesn't have the 13 out of 20? They have to do the pre-master.
Yeah, they would
doing the master.
That's right. Yeah, they need to do a pre-masters at one of our partner institutions in the UK. Some courses would consider students with sort of 3 to 5 years relevant professional work experience in the area for master's courses. So if there is a student out there with slightly less, but they have relevant work experience, do still apply, and then their case will be considered on an individual basis based on their work experience as well. So yeah, do consider that still if they're slightly below the 13 requirement.
Okay, many students ask us, like, what are the advantages of studying in the UK?
Yeah, so firstly, I would say the advantages are, especially in London, where the University of Westminster is based. We're based in the city centre of London, and what that brings is connections, both in terms of your lecturers, who are all actively working in the industry. So all the lectures themselves are very practical, and the teachers are very professionally minded. They're experts in the field, and they're still working in the field. And then also the professional opportunities that the university offers. For example, at Westminster, I think we have links with about 300 different companies where our students often do internships, work placements. We have large multinational companies, obviously based in the City of London, that come in and do
So
lots
you
of.
help students find part-time job and also find a job after graduation.
Yeah, as soon as they come to university, we sign them up with our career development team, help them find part-time work, whether working for the university or one of the many companies in and around the university in London. But
Mm-hmm.
then on top of the part-time work, we help them find internships through the university or externally. I mean, there's so many professional opportunities. So I think, talking about what the UK, studying the UK offers, it's a practical learning experience, getting them ready to be employable in an international setting. Lecturers are very approachable, so very friendly, and if you have issues, they're always there to meet in person over coffee, over email. Then also going beyond that, the diversity of the UK and London, especially where we're based, and we've got 166 different nationalities that study with us. So any students that come with us, they end up having friends and making connections from people from all over the world. So I'd say it's the international exposure, professional exposure, and the practical nature of the lectures and the teaching at a British university that really sort of puts the UK above other destinations. Plus, doing your degree in English and from a British public university has quite a lot of prestige worldwide, which that brings. So it's going to, definitely improve people's career options or prospects.
Definitely. Can you tell us more about the post-study work visa?
Yeah, so this is a great positive initiative for any new arriving international students. So once students graduate if they're doing a 1-year master's or a 3-year bachelor's degree, they'll then have 2 years to stay in the UK working full time without any limits on their working hours. So as soon as they graduate, another 2 years, they can be looking for full-time work. So even if they haven't secured a full-time job, that's fine. They'll still have 2 years to stay in the UK looking for full-time work or working full-time or whatever they're doing. So it just really gives a lot more opportunity and time for them to, get good work experience and living in the UK
Mm-hmm.
for longer.
But will they be granted the 2 years on their visa, or it will be separately?
So it will be separate. The Home Office is still to release the full details of the application process of how it will work. But students will firstly receive their Tier 4 visa, student visa,
Mm-hmm.
for their time at the university, and then towards the end of their visa, I mean, like I said, we're still to know the full details, but in theory, they'll then be given further information about the application process. And the university, we have visa specialists, so we'll be guiding all of our students on how they go about making that application to stay for the further 2 years.
Okay. Do you also offer any accommodation to students?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we have 4 accommodation sites in the city, 2 that are literally on campus where our courses are taught. So one in central London on the Marylebone campus where the business school and architecture school is based. Then we have one on the Harrow campus in West London, which is 20 minutes on the tube or London Underground into central London. And then we have one in the East London area of Shoreditch or Hoxton, which is kind of like where all the bars and restaurants and the real social nightlife part of the city is. And then another in Wembley, again, which is actually where the National Football Stadium is. And it's like 3 stops into central London. So 4 accommodation sites in the city. We do prioritise giving the rooms to international students coming from Morocco, for
So is it
example.
guaranteed accommodation for international students?
It's not guaranteed, but what I know is that I mean, in previous years, everyone who's applied has been allocated a spot, and there's still space definitely for January. I know that for certain, and probably will be for September. But like I said, the priority we give to international students to ensure they've got that. So we try and get them ready with their accommodation before they actually fly over to
Yeah.
London.
Okay, so now just to simplify the process, if someone is interested to study at University of Westminster, so first they need to make an application through UCAS, get their offer, clear the conditions, get an unconditional offer, and then pay the £4,000 deposit.
Yeah, that's right.
And after that, they have to show the financial evidences.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah. So once they've got that unconditional offer, this is important, obviously, to know and to do some research on. It's called the 28-day rule in terms of maintenance. So all students will need to have evidence of sufficient funds in their account, or maybe their parents' account or guardian's account, showing that they have funds to pay the remainder of their tuition fees after their initial £4,000 deposit. And then in addition, they need to show evidence that they're able to support themselves, which is the maintenance part, for 9 months.
so
Yeah,
either if they're applying for a 3 years bachelor or for a 12 months master.
yes,
So it's the same rule.
it's the same rule, but for if they're doing the 3 years or 4 year bachelors, they'll just need to show the evidence for the first year in terms of maintenance. But yeah, it's the same rule for undergraduate and postgraduate. So do the research, checking that you can get your finances in order to meet that, because that's an obviously requirement to get your CAS, confirmation of studies, and then, as you know, for the Tier 4 visa.
Okay, and who can be like under which names can be the bank statement?
So it
Father
can
or mother or the student, right? No
exactly father or
siblings,
mother.
no
Yeah,
uncles,
no,
no
no.
grandparents.
Yeah, no, unless they're a legal guardian. But if they're not a legal guardian, then yeah, mother, father, themselves, or joint account from their parents.
Okay. So, is there anything you would like to add or say to Moroccan students who are willing to study in the UK and especially in London?
Yeah. So firstly, well, I hope you're all well and safe. The UK and London is open for international students and Moroccan students. I've met a number of Moroccan students who are really friendly, very entrepreneurial, for example, and a lot of these students that I've met have had study experiences in France as well, of course, because of course there's a link with Morocco and France, and they seem not. I mean, I haven't met all of them, but a lot of them that I've met seem to really enjoy the British study experience of the practical nature of the degrees, also the welcoming atmosphere from the university, and also the lecturers themselves. Like I said, very approachable. So if you have any issues, there is always someone you can speak to. You don't need to feel bad about that. And as well as that, you know, in terms of social life in London, with lockdown and things like that, with the pandemic. So what's going on at the moment? London's cafes, restaurants, and bars are still open with certain limits on them. So students
Mm-hmm.
that are coming here can still do lots of things in the city, tourism related, all within, you know, under COVID-19 restrictions. We're hoping that, like you guys in Morocco, that things get better soon. But just to say that, you know, you would still be studying a British public degree. You'd have all the support, whether when you start online and then eventually come onto campus. Full support. All of our societies, hundreds of societies we have are still running. A lot of them are meeting up outside or in, as I said, sort of COVID secure ways indoors. And we're hoping, like I said, to get on-campus teaching back and ready from the 1st of
In
February.
January,
So
yeah.
yeah, from January. So yeah, I mean, obviously, some students might be thinking of September, but if you're ready, then January's just coming around soon, and hopefully things will be a lot better by then. And yeah, I hope you consider coming to UK and London and the University of Westminster, of course.
Thank you so much, Martin. It's always a pleasure discussing with you. So for the ones who have missed this live, they can find it on Instagram. It was recorded.
Great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.